Hi, and welcome to my first video review. Today I'm going to review the Samsung Portable SSD T5. I bought a bunch of these because they were on offer because Samsung are pushing their T7, which is a newer, faster model. But I'm a cheapskate, so I'm going for the cheaper version. According to the box, it works on Windows, Mac, and Android. I know because I've already plugged them in that they work on Linux, specifically the Raspberry Pi, which is what I'm going to be using it for as a NAS server. So opening it up, in there. First thing you'll notice is it's very small. That book. Yeah, compared to, for example, a 1TB Toshiba drive, portable Toshiba drive, it's there. It comes in a quite nice metallic case. It claims to be droppable from 2 meters. I'm not going to test that, but I suspect it would probably withstand quite considerably more. Yeah, it's quite stylish, looks nice. You'd feel safe putting it in your pocket. Yeah, let's plug it in. So I've plugged it in and opened it up in Windows. It didn't require any installation. It's formatted to exFAT. It comes with 3 files on it. These 2 are installation for Windows and Mac for the hardware encryption, and then there's a text file for Android users telling you where to go and get the software. Here in Crystal Disk Info, you can see that it's running SATA 600 over UASP, which is the fastest we're going to get on my computer as it stands. We've got a power on count of 2 because Windows decided that it absolutely had to update my computer right in the middle of this review, which was incredibly helpful. Thanks, Microsoft. I've run Crystal Disk Mark on the T5, got the results back. It takes a while to run. So, the box claims up to 540 megabytes per second transfer speed, supporting USB 3.1 Gen 2 at 10 gigabits per second. The top line is pretty much the top speed I'm going to get on this computer. It's a sequential read and write. In reality, you're not going to get up to 540 megabytes per second because that's presumably raw transfer speeds, probably a read in the lab, not taking into account error checking or any of the protocols associated with file transfer. That's actually pretty good speeds. I'm quite happy with that. For a $130 drive, it's pretty good. This is more likely to be what we're seeing on file transfers. In reality, it's one big file. Yeah. This is, we'll move on to the smaller random reads and writes. This is where it's not actually doing sequential read or write, so it's getting files from all over the disk. SSD, you generally assume that's going to be a bit quicker. When we move down to 1Q, it's going to be a bit slower because it has to ask for each one separately, whereas this, it loads it up and tells it to go ahead and find it as quickly as possible. For reference, I've done the same benchmark on my C drive, which is Samsung Evo 680, so 860 even, which is also SATA 600. plugged into a SATA 600 port rather than the USB 3 port. It's an older drive, but so it's not surprising that it's actually a little bit slower in some cases. So the T5 is actually in many places getting faster than my own C drive, which is good because I don't want to wait around for copying stuff on and off my disk. Just for reference, this is the benchmark that I did on the Toshiba drive that I was waving at you earlier. So this is actually a mechanical drive. It's quite a bit older than the T5. It's only using SATA 300 over USB, but as you can see, the read and write speeds are considerably less than half. That's why if you're copying a lot, especially if you're copying a lot of small files, it could be with those speeds it could take you a fair while. So benchmark is one thing, but there's nothing like actually doing a real test. We're a bit limited because, as you can see on the T5, some of the operations are a bit quicker on the T5 than they are on my C drive. But this is just a test using the system that you might find in your own home. So first of all, I'm going to copy some files, some photos that I took on my smartphone in 2014. 1,141 of them. It's about 2 gigs worth. So let's bring over the Samsung drive, copy them over. So we're getting speeds of around about 80 to 100 megabytes per second. We've probably gone beyond any buffering or caches that we might have. I'm not sure why it's changing so much in speed. I don't know whether that's errors or error correction getting in the way. I don't know. So the next file I'm going to copy across is a single large file, about 1.2 gigabytes. It's a Linux image, but it's the equivalent size of a reasonable size, reasonably compressed movie. So that's managing about 173 megabytes per second. And just to make sure we're not hitting any buffers or anything like that, I've also got a raw file, which I don't know what that is. I found it in one of my drives. It's the biggest file on my disk. I'm going to be putting it back when I've done with it, so I really don't know what it is. So this is going to be too big to be buffered by anything. So this will be the actual raw maximum speed that my file can copy from my Evo drive to my Samsung drive, which at 117 megabytes per second is not bad. It's it'll take about 12 minutes to copy 100 gigabytes. That's not too bad. Just for reference, I'm going to bring across the Toshiba drive and do the same. So I'm getting about 30 megabytes per second with that one. Top probably about 40, 50. These are lots of smaller files. Oh, yeah. So probably on average about half the speed. Again, let's copy across an image. So I'm getting 110 megabytes per second here. So a little better. And let's start copying the raw file. So yeah, it can sustain that that speed. It looks like, but at 19 minutes, we're a little under half the speed of the other drive. I don't know whether that's actual 19 minutes. Windows can be a bit funny about its timings. So yeah. So all in all, it's actually a really great drive. I'm really pleased with it. It's small, it looks good, it's reasonably quick. If you've only got USB 3 first generation, then it's a bit pointless getting a T7 because it won't work any quicker because the USB speed is limited to 5 gigabits, which is about a maximum of 500 megabits. Older systems, again, I suspect the speed limits were probably a lot down to my own computer because it's 10 years old. Yeah, it's also going to be cheaper than the T7 because it's Samsung are trying to push their newer technology. So recently we've seen a bit of a price crash in these. I don't know how much longer they'll be around for though, unfortunately. But yeah, well done Samsung. So if you liked this video, hit like. If you didn't, there's a button for that too. If you really liked it, then hit subscribe and maybe I'll make a few more. Thanks for watching.